Hello. Today I will talk about ADHD and the debilitating conditions that come when prescribed medications such as Ritalin. WebMD defines ADHD as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is supposedly a common condition that affects children and adolescents and can continue into adulthood for some. It is estimated that 3 to 5% of children have ADHD, but some experts say that ADHD may occur in 8 to 10% of school-age children, but they just haven't been diagnosed yet. Considering some situations in which an adult may continue to take medication long after they are children makes some experts believe that there are far more adults with ADHD than expected. The term ADHD was first introduced to the public in 1980, making it a fairly newer diagnosis in the medical world. It is often said that many conditions and diagnoses such as ADHD are simply propaganda made by medical boards in order to rake in higher revenue. So why is it that ADHD is sometimes met with opposing criticism? Well, it's because ADHD is not only a newer condition, but older generations find it ludicrous that we're medicating our children simply because they're a little more active and have a more vivid imagination than some of their peers. In an interesting article written by Joe Martino for HealthCentral.com, he mentions that the father of ADHD himself admitted that the disease was fictitious and it altered the mind of our children, leaving them addicted to medications for years to come. A doctor by the name of Jay Parkinson mentions that drug companies actually invent the new diseases and then invent the new drugs to cure them. PsychCentral.com is a great resource in finding information about the side effects of medications used to treat ADHD. Some of these being weight loss, sleep deprivation, lethargy, and even addiction to the medications that are prescribed. There have also been theories made as to why the new disease is flourishing, now more than it did before. One idea mentioned by Fox News is that the poor quality of food nowadays is somehow connected to children's hyperactivity. Now remember, this has not been proven as a factor and it's simply a theory. A psychiatrist by the name of Peter Bragan said in an interview with PBS that we have lost track of what childhood is about. He said, and I quote, "We now think it's about having good, quiet children who make it easy for us to go to work. That it's about having submissive children who will sit in a classroom of 30, often with teachers who don't know how to use visual aids and other exciting technologies that kids are used to." So if you have time, please follow up on this psychiatrist as he makes astonishing points that may or may not pertain to you. Another doctor by the name of Keith Connors has actually been working to justify the disease, but has recently questioned the rising rates of diagnosis and called it a national disaster of dangerous proportions. There has been countless testimonials of the negative aspects of ADHD medications. One website aims to educate parents of children who have been diagnosed with ADHD and are being pressured into medicating their children. RitalinDeath.com is a website managed by the parents of a 14-year-old boy named Matthew who actually died from taking the medication Ritalin. This website provides valuable information such as the lack of tests that are administered before they even prescribe these medications to your kid. See, personally, I don't feel that ADHD is a condition. I think parents are busier now, more than before, and they just don't want to deal with an active child. Working with children, I've witnessed the debilitating side effects of medications. Bright children who were once full of confidence and personality are transformed into mindless duds. These medications are stripping society of society of their personality, and we're just too busy to care. Thankfully, I've met parents who refuse to diagnose their children and focus more on challenging their active child's mind by providing them with stimulation such as extracurricular activities and even more advanced education. Because it's likely that these children aren't sick. They're just bored and not being challenged enough. I believe it's the responsibility of the parent or guardian to provide their children with an environment in which they are free to be themselves. And I just hope with all my heart that we stop letting a pill take the place of responsible parents. Thanks a lot for listening.